for Black girl nerds.
Ladies, it was such a pleasure to see Native American women represented in a meaningful way and not just a caricature or something to that effect. Beginning
Mm-hmm.
with you, Jenna, this is such a unique story that incorporates that heritage and it not necessarily being the focal point, it just happens to be that you are and it brings it into the storyline.
Yeah.
With with the lack of representation for Native American women in film and projects in general, what is it like for you to now be able to represent this image for the community and allow them to see themselves on camera?
At first, it was definitely a lot of pressure because I knew, like, that is like a little problem that we have in like this industry. So for me to actually, bring this authenticity to myself, to Martha, I felt very passionate about it and I knew exactly, who I'm representing and representing myself, my family, my community, and I couldn't be more prouder of myself and I gave it my all. And I really hope this did justice for everyone that's watching and any young Indigenous people wanting to pursue this.
Absolutely. Aruna, with your character, Tony and Martha, they're best friends. They find themselves in this circumstance and spending this time with each other. Maybe their friendship is not the same thing that they thought it was. Maybe they like each other less than they thought they would. Is it as simple as that? Or what is the discovery you feel the two, your character and Jenna's character, encounter while they're on this island?
Well, I think, the context of the island, obviously, it raises a lot of the stakes and it shows a lot of uglies as you see, makes people face their shit that they've got going on. And I think that there was, a lot of things simmering beneath the surface between in this friendship and its sisters. You make up, you break up, and you fight, you squabble, but you love each other. And I think, in moments where we come to head, really speaks so strongly to Toni because she lived her whole life having people, beat her down and tell her that she's not enough. But when it comes from Martha letting her know that, like, hey, you're hurting me, that's a huge change. And I think only that change really could have only come from through that relationship that they'd formed.
Right. With you guys are isolated in this place that's part of a larger scheme that unfolds as we watch throughout the episodes, but you all still have meaningful time. It's a huge cast and everyone has their moment and everyone stands out. Jenna, what was it like for you working with a big ensemble cast like that? Because you all really do have moments and are memorable.
It's been amazing, having, our women to women advice and that support that was needed to get through these hard portrayals and these hard scenarios that all these characters have to go through. It was honestly like I knew I had that behind me, knowing like no matter how hard I mess up or how hard I'm struggling to get a scene or struggling to like get a certain emotion out, I knew like I had people around me to calm me down and, really get me to where I needed to be, because I feel like, coming from friends, it's so much more intimate coming from like, say, like an adult talking down to a child to do something. Like when you have friends, it's just more a relaxed environment. You know what I'm saying? Like it was so much better, like compared to all the other projects that I've done.
I can imagine. With that, what was so striking is you all really looked like you were beat down and out on that island, and it just really added to the realism of the situation. Erana, where was it that taxing as it looked? Well, I imagine it is because that's a lot of long hours doing that after scene after scene after scene. Is it as taxing as it looked as a viewer?
Absolutely. I mean, I think the environment that we were in, it did half of our job for us. There was no acting required to be tired, sore, cold, sandy, windswept. Those things were a complete reality. And yeah, I definitely know I walked off the beach a little bit stiff week one. I was like, oof,
yeah.
The body's not quite used to this just yet. But it definitely was. It was as brutal as it looked. both emotionally and physically. Sure.
I can imagine. Thank you so much, ladies. You did a wonderful job, and I really enjoyed
Thank
the
you.
series.
Thank you
Lovely
so much.
chatting with you. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
See ya.
Better shake your booties for black girl nerves. Better shake your booties for black girl nerves.